So Melinda French Gates revealed the pivotal career advice that multi-billionaire Warren Buffett once gave her. He said, quote, find your bullseye of what you're working on and let the other things fall away. Ooh. So that was a piece of advice. Do you believe in having a career bullseye? Or
yeah,
right? Okay,
yeah.
You do. I guess
50-50.
Yeah. Like whatever comes your way. What do you think?
Yeah, I guess it depends on how you interpret this. The way that I interpreted this is a lot of us have a lot of skills, soft skills as some people call them, but what do you really want to hone in on? And then it's the question of, do you want to be a generalist in your career or a specialist in your career? Yeah. And I think therein lies the difference. I think a lot of us are probably generalists, right? You kind of learn how to do a little bit of everything. It's jack of all trades, master at none. But the way I interpret this is, jack of all trades, yes, but then become a master at one. And I think that I think that depends on what stage you are in your career. I think the longer you're in a career, I think it does serve us to become more of a specialist and really sought after. Know that one thing inside and out, and everybody comes to you for that one thing. But overall, I think you've got to be nimble in how you learn, but very good at what you're an expert on.
I love this advice. It's excellent. I just wish I knew how to follow it. Like because I've never been that specialist my entire life. I'm the type of person like, oh, this looks cool. Which way's the wind blowing? Oh, look at over there. What's that over there? Oh, there's a painting. I'm going to try painting. I'm going to try this. I'm going to try that. I can't specialize. And I think to my detriment. Like, I think it's wonderful advice, but I don't know how to follow it.
I see.
Interesting. Yeah. You know what? In the very beginning of my career, I was a journalist, but I was a journalist because I did not have the confidence to say exactly what I wanted to do. And that's when I was like, well, when people are like, what do you want to do? I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to be on air. I don't know. I just want to figure out the industry. And to a point, it worked for me because I think there's something that when you learn how to do all the other little jobs, it helps you when you get to the big job. But I had this moment. I was working at a television station, and there's a bunch of us there who were working there, and we were all very young, fresh out of college, and we had a meeting that was called by our VP of News, and he sat us all down and said, hey, we noticed that all of you are angling to get these on-air jobs and producing jobs, but I want to sit down and tell you guys that it's not going to happen here. And if you want to continue working here at all these entry-level jobs, we're very happy to have you. But if you have aspirations to be a producer, associate producer, reporter, anchor, it's not going to happen here. And in that moment, it became so clear to me, my bullseye, because I'm like, I did not go to J school, so this guy can tell me that I'm going to stay here as a journalist.
School.
Journalism school.
Journalism school.
He helped me kind of hone in and own my voice. I'm like, no, I actually want to become a producer, and I do want to be on air. And if this is what he wants to have us all in this box. 2 weeks later, I put in my resignation. I go, see you later.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, I was very focused. And then when I was applying for jobs, no longer did I want to be a journalist. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. Went after those jobs. 3 weeks later, I was a producer on a daily show. And I was like, so I feel like that was a kick. It wasn't a push, but I wish every young person who's like unsure and they don't know quite how to say it, it's like, no, have a bullseye. Don't be afraid to say it out loud. It doesn't make you cocky. It just makes you confident. You're going to school, you're putting time into this career.
But younger, can the bullseye, like, instead of being like that, can it kind of be like that?
You can open it to a few things, but don't have it so open because you'll end up working on somebody else's dream.
You know what? It's funny that you say that.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Put that on a t-shirt. I feel like, Cynthia, you were forced into being a specialist.
I was forced into being on air. Yeah. I didn't want to do it at all, but then it kind of came together. Like, I think both things are true. Like, I've often thought of my career as something like I've been actually planting seeds. So you plant a bunch of seeds and you get ideas and it's like, oh, I'm kind of into this zone, I'm kind of into that zone. Then you water those seeds and you see which ones grow and which ones kind of die. And I think and then you go, at some point in time, you try to harvest. And maybe that's when the bullseye kind of comes in. I didn't like the idea of him saying this in the sense of it sounds very financially motivated. Like you hit your targets, and then you get this reward. Whereas I think if you reframe it as like a North Star, I think other people have used that. Like it's like you're trying to follow what's your value system. And when I think back to it, like I went to school initially for film and television to be a screenwriter. I am not a screenwriter, but I am a storyteller. So if that's my sort of North Star, I've been following that all along while planting seeds, because if we've been in this industry long enough, we know that if you don't water a few different plants, and you've only invested in that one.
You're gonna go hungry.
You're gonna go hungry. So
you just brought up a really good question. Didn't you feel like in the very beginning of your career, there are a lot of people who are like, what do you want to do? Or I don't know what you want because you're not being very clear. And I feel like that also held me back for a few years too, because I wasn't very definite with like, actually, this is what I want to do. Because I was afraid to say it, and then they didn't take me seriously because I wasn't taking myself seriously.
I think it's easier to know what you don't want to do
sometimes.
And maybe that's the way you get there. Maybe that's the way you get there, for sure.
Hey, you, come a bit closer. We've got so many more must-see interviews, spicy debates, lifestyle tips, and pop culture moments. So subscribe to our channel by tapping the logo below and don't miss out.